It was an afternoon of astonishing mediocrity. My human, whom I prefer to call my logistics and cuddles assistant, had decided that the fresh air of the park would be stimulating for my senses. I, of course, agreed, only because the cobalt blue silk harness highlighted the shade of my eyes, and because the sunlight promised a favorable angle for my pupils. Everything proceeded according to the standards of a 3-star review. The grass was acceptably trimmed, though it lacked the velvet fineness I demand in my quarters. But then tragedy struck. A vulgar crash, caused by one of those metal machines with wheels that young humans operate with no sense of rhythm, exploded near my ears. Panic, a sensation so unbefitting of my lineage, seized me. In a movement I can only describe as a spasm of pure instinct, I slipped free from my assistant's grip and ran. I ran until the scent of expensive roses was replaced by the stench of damp earth and organic rubbish. Suddenly, the park's silence turned hostile. I found myself in an area where landscape architecture was conspicuously absent, a thick, dark, and, worst of all, damp thicket. My fur, that masterpiece of Siamese genetics, was in contact with mud, the horror. Human? I meowed, trying to maintain a note of authority, but my voice came out as a broken thread. No one answered. Real panic began to crawl down my spine. A shadow moved among the bushes. It was a dog. Not one of those refined lap dogs that smell of lavender shampoo, but a beast with unkempt fur and eyes that knew no culinary critique, only hunger. The canine let out a guttural growl. I was forced to climb a rough trunk, injuring my perfectly cared-for claws. From a precarious branch, I saw the beast barking beneath me. The sky, in an act of absolute disrespect, decided to break into a cold and persistent rain. My body temperature dropped, my dignity dissolved in the water, and, for the first time in my existence, I felt the absolute void of loneliness. I was lost. I was dirty. I was terrified. What seemed like centuries passed. Every shadow was a monster. Every drop of water an insult. My mind, usually occupied with discerning whether the salmon pâté was at the correct temperature, could only repeat one command: find me. Luna! Luna! That voice, it was a frequency my ears recognized among a million vulgar noises. It was the human. His voice was no longer authoritative. It was broken, laden with a desperation that almost, and I say almost, made me feel sorry for him. I saw him running down the path soaked, with a frantic look. I forgot my mask of aristocratic indifference. I jumped from the branch, ignoring the mud splashing my paws, and ran towards him, letting out a cry that was not a meow, but a plea. He threw himself to the ground on his knees, a very suitable position for him, now that I think about it, and wrapped me in his arms. I felt the warmth of his jacket, the familiar scent of his perfume, and the racing beat of his heart against my side. I was safe. Poor thing, Luna. It's over. You're with me now, he whispered, holding me tight against his chest. I buried my nose in his neck. For a moment, I allowed his warmth to dry my humiliation. Of course, once we got home and he wrapped me in an Egyptian cotton towel, I regained my composure.